Steve Langton's asked us to do a shopping guide.
For importing Blu-rays from Hong Kong?
Yes.
I think we can manage that, Steve.
Here you go.
Welcome to HKB, I'm Leon.
I'm Shaz.
So, we're going to put together this little shopping guide as requested. You can get so many more titles from over in Hong Kong. So what we're going to do is we're going to give everybody a little focus on some of the sites that we use. A little idea of what's the best way to do it, how many you best purchase in. Because you don't want to incur extra cost, which you can do. If you order too many at once, you can end up with import taxes. So, generally for us, it's like either 3 or 4 Blu-rays at a time, depending on the price of them. That's one thing to think of, and also look at where you are and what the importing cost is for you. So we're going to give you some examples of this now. So please enjoy our little shopping guide, and we hope it proves useful for you.
So what we thought it would be best to do would be to put 3 films in a basket on all of the sites we're looking at. So we have DDD House.hk, dddhouse.com, byoyo.com, YesAsia, Panorama and Playasia. So the 3 films that we chose to do the price comparison on are My Cousin the Ghost, The Shopaholics and Worst Officer Tuba. These 3 films on DDD House HK came to a total of £62.05. This price is including delivery to the UK.
The price of the same 3 films from byoyo.com is $65.75, including delivery as well.
Right, so on Panorama for the same 3 films, after shipping and postage, the price comes to a grand total of £64.60.
We then have the same 3 films with dddhouse.com. The basket shows the total at $61.67, but when we went through to PayPal, it actually totaled $67.87, so it's just something to keep an eye on with this one. The price always goes up a little bit when you get through to PayPal, but this one we particularly noticed it was quite a jump.
So YesAsia is inclusive of the postage in the price, but at a grand total of £72.55, is it really worth it, as it's a lot more expensive than any of the other sites?
Playasia only had one of the titles we were looking at. As well as delivery, you will also be charged tax on top, so this website tends to be a lot more expensive than the other sites we tend to use.
So DDD House has got price drop section, and we've got multiple sale options to look at: weekly cheap sale, pre-orders, new releases, Shaw Brothers. Very easily navigatable and a lot of titles to look at. If you look at these here, these Blu-rays, they've all been marked down and it's in constant rotation. You always get a real good selection of titles that have been marked down. We use this an awful lot. So if you go to the Blu-ray cheap sale section and click on that, then you'll notice there's a lot of really cheap titles like this one here with Lau Ching Wan, £5.62, and I think it's Nicholas Chi in that. There's a lot of really cheap budget titles, and we buy a lot of these to cover on the channel. There's some really good films in there, and it's good browsing. There's some pre-orders there, always good, and a new release section so you can catch up on what's just come out. So Playasia, another one of our favourite sites, a bit more difficult to navigate than DDD House, but if you get used to it, there's an awful lot of good titles, good sections to be found on here. They have a most immense selection of films. If you're looking for something rare, this is a good place to go. You have a crazy sales section, and they do have some very crazy sales on here. I always come back and have a little look, and usually end up buying 3 or 4 bunched together. We click on the top here, Lam Kwai Fong, and you'll notice that the video is, oh, there we go, sorry about that guys. This site can play up a little bit occasionally, but you can click on people's names and you'll notice that it'll bring up movies, Blu-rays that that person's in. So it's a good way if you're looking for a particular star or director's films. Type in one that you know, and then you'll find a whole bunch more. Now that is really useful. The only thing you might want to look out for is the titles on here. When you're typing them in, don't always come up. Sometimes it might be because you've missed an apostrophe, so sometimes just use some keywords from the title and try and skip anything that has an apostrophe or dash or hyphen in it. You can find what you want, even if you have to type in the actor's name or the director's name, but like I say, such an extensive list on Playasia. Highly recommended site. So finally, we're going to look at Panorama Entertainment's own website. Very easy to navigate this one, and a lot of nice sections, and of course you get the complete Panorama list. If you notice here, we've got some box sets. If you do purchase from Panorama, you can sometimes end up with gifts, like little Jiangxi vampires with Mr. Vampire set, so on and so forth. They do have a very good sales section as well on these Panorama Hong Kong Classics range, so there's plenty to choose from on this site, and you might notice that the prices seem a lot lower than some of the other sites. They do make up for this a little bit with the postage and packaging, but if you weigh it up and see what you want and then combine the total cost, you may find that it's more beneficial to do an order from Panorama. In the Hong Kong Classics section, you can find all of the Hong Kong classics. They have them on DVD as well as Blu-ray. So if you're not a Blu-ray only collector, then you know you can pick up some really good cheap bargains on DVD, and it's the same list of titles. Here we have a bunch of box sets, which are always nice because you get the whole collection of films for a particular series that you're after.
Right, so we hope our little guide was useful. Remember, we're based in the UK, so the cost that we've given you for us might not be reflected for you, but you know, apply the same principle as what we did in the video, and you know, do your homework a little bit, and yeah, you know, open up some extra doors for Hong Kong movies, because you know, if you've got yourself a multi-region player, or you are a region A anyway, there are a ton of titles from over there, stuff that is never likely going to see the day over here. We hope you enjoyed this little guide, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching, guys.